Well, hello again, everyone, and welcome to the next of our webcasts that we're bringing you from Travel Weekly as part of our Roadmap to Recovery series. And I'm delighted to be joined today by Paul Harrison, who is one of the co-founders of Not Just Travel. And Paul is joining me, having just held his first virtual conference for all your members, Paul. So, and I know you made some announcements and so you had some news to tell them. So we want to just go through that with you. But I think one of the key messages I think you were giving was that we're over the worst of this pandemic, and you want to get your guys prepared for this bounce back. So tell us why you're so optimistic, and tell us a little bit about what you've told your members today.
Okay, well, thank you, Lucy, and optimistic with the fingers crossed, by the way. But yeah, as you know, we're a home working agency, and traditionally, up until now, our model has been people who are new to travel. So first time, many of those people are first time entrepreneurs, and this has been a very scary period for them. And the last real interaction we had with everybody was our conference in December. That went down a storm, and everyone was kind of really buzzing and look forward to 2020. Peaks was fantastic, so that was great. And then 1st of March, onwards, it was all downhill. So we've decided that now is the right time to kind of get everybody together, to kind of bring the family together, corporate and our kind of network, and kind of lead from the front, really. We've got a lot of people who, like I say, are first time entrepreneurs, and they're looking for that leadership and what's going to happen. And Steve and I decided many months ago that we're going to use COVID as an opportunity rather than a big kind of doom and gloom. We're going to use it as a chance to create our new normal. The one thing we were determined not to do was to come back after COVID to the status quo, just carry on doing things as we always did. That's missing the chance, missing the opportunity. So we've been working hard on kind of, well, what can we do? What lessons can we learn? What can we change? What improvements can we make? And what will our new normal look like? And so today was about bringing everyone together and sharing that message with them and leading from the front, letting them see that the company is here, it's strong. If I had £1 for everybody who asked me, is the company going to go under, when this happened, then we definitely wouldn't, so people just need
So it was about reassuring them that they were part of a company that had a viable future financially and also strategically. You've got plans. So can you share with us then some of the things that, these changes that you've been putting in place, using COVID as an opportunity to improve your business?
Yeah, well, firstly, Lucy, they needed confidence in themselves, belief in themselves as entrepreneurs. A lot of people said, I've kind of lost my mojo over the months. Some people are scared of making bookings right now because they just think, I just don't want the hassle of having to rebook them again.
Right.
So they kind of needed that belief in themselves, the belief in the company. They needed to see that leadership. They need belief in the industry. And, we've got some sound bites from people in the industry, from people in incredible positions and what have you. So just to give them that reassurance. But from our perspective, some of this is not going to be kind of massive trade news, but it is brilliant for our business, if that makes sense. So we've decided that we're going to change the relationship with all of our franchisees, all of our travel consultants. We're going to change the way we communicate with them. We're going to change the training and the business development side of how we do things. We're having changes to policies and operational procedures. So all the little things that have become little,
Sorry, Paul, but when you say change it, will you be in contact with them more now, or with different kinds of information and guidance? What will the change be like?
Bit of everything, really. So what we found in COVID, and Steve and I did a bit of a Boris Johnson at the early days, 4 o'clock every day.
Oh, right, yeah.
We didn't hide. We were there. We fronted it out, often thinking, what are we going to say? But we answered the questions. And so the realization is, communication is key to everything. And it's better to over communicate than not communicate at all. But we found we had very many communication channels, and it can be confusing. So we've streamlined all that and made it better. So the information is easier to find, is clearer, you know, and people can find it quicker. In terms of our business development, we have business development managers, which in hindsight, you know, were kind of almost a middleman rather than they're fixing things and making things happen. So, you know, they'd get kind of a request or an issue from a travel consultant, bring it to the company and almost just be a middleman passing it on. So now they've been empowered to play a much more pivotal role, a stronger role, be able to deal with things faster,
right,
make things happen, you know, have more of a total responsibility for things, and just change that experience that the travel consultant has with us then. So a lot of time and effort and resource going into those guys. And that I know that will be embraced by everyone in our business. You know, they'll love that side of things. And just general processes in dealing with our HQ and that kind of flow of information. Every company's had it, Lucy, refunds and what's happening, and it's just been a nightmare, you know, word, as we know. But again, it's just, what could we have done better? How could we have managed it differently? You know.
Do these changes extend to who you're working with? You know, we've spoken to lots of people who've said, you know what, this whole experience has shown me that there are some suppliers that have been very helpful and some that haven't perhaps handled or, you know, dealt with your people the way that you would like, and that's left them in, you know, in the firing line with the customer. So, you know, the changes you're making going forward, will that also extend to the kind of the products that you're selling and the partners that you're working with?
It will in two ways, really. I think the travel consultants who are on the ground, who are doing it, who are working with the operators, they're the ones who've had to bear the brunt of everything. So they're going to make their own decisions, I think. If operators have let them down, they're not going to forget that, I don't think. So that won't be a company initiative to them. But once we kind of get through all of COVID, then corporately, you know, we'll do some things as well, you know, not maybe on as much a level as them, but you know, I'm sure and I hope the franchisees will look after the ones who looked after them and remember the ones who didn't back them, really.
Okay, all right. Now, of course, yeah, absolutely. Now, of course, you know, you know, we talked right at the start, this is a home working business, and some might say, well, you know, at least you were used to working from home. Lots of companies had to get used to working from home. And of course, now we're finding that there's sadly lots of redundancies happening in the industry, and people are now perhaps looking to go into home working. So are you also, in your future plans, looking to grow your number of travel consultants, and has that started yet? Have you had people sort of knocking on your door?
Yeah, well, not just knocking on the door, but we're knocking them over, really. So traditionally, Lucy, as you know, we've been our core market has been people new to travel.
Yeah,
kind of smashed that market, really. And we wrote off April, May and June as we wouldn't recruit anyone. Who's going to buy a franchise in those months? Nobody. We had nearly 20 people join. So we were like, wow, you know, so that was great. But recently we soft launched our new experienced travel agent division. And that's one of the reasons we kind of headhunted Cherie Richards to come and join us.
Yeah.
To solidify our existing business, but to head up this. And we had 200 inquiries in the first week. And it's been mental ever since. Because it's been new, it's been a very manual process.
Right, yeah.
And I deal with that side of the business. So I've been speaking to so many people. I'm sure this year is kind of going to be effective at some point. But we're just in the process now of kind of signing them up and then joining. It's been...
so if you had 200 applicants or calls of interest...
In 1 week, we've had hundreds more.
Oh, okay, sorry. So how many then will you actually sign up? You know, I mean, obviously not everybody that expresses an interest would join. So
we've got the luxury, Lucy, of being selective. And I don't just mean selective in terms of success and past record, but selective in terms of the individual. What we're not looking for is what I call the travel junkies who jump from one business to the next. There's no loyalty, there's no stability or anything. We're looking for nice people. You know, we want people who fit our values, that we like, that are hungry, you know, kind of share our our vision. So we're going through that kind of process. We want to keep this a very, don't know if this is the right phrase, but very intimate group. You know, we've got 750 in our franchise division. This will be more like 50 to 100. You know, less is more.
Okay. Yeah.
Do more with them.
And so when you say 50 to 100, you'll sign up, say 50 initially, but you can see it going to 100 by when?
Just over the coming months, Rael. You know, I think with anything, we have to start it. We have to let it get a foothold. I think a lot of people will be looking at what we're doing in this new division, but they won't be the first to jump, and we kind of get them in the long grass. So very aware of that and happy because there's no pressure on us, but we'll get it started. We'll get the kind of ball rolling, the nice kind of comments will get out there. They'll find their way out, and then, you know, some of the bigger fish will come swimming.
So poor Cherie, you've kept her working hard, I'm sure, in her first few months.
The poor girl doesn't stop. I'm sure she's regretting it already.
And if she won't be, I'm sure. But sorry, just to be clear, these people have got to be experienced travel sellers, but have they also got to only work from home, or are you taking on any kind of high street retail at all?
No. So what's happening is there's a lot of things happening. It's kind of a couple of things coming down the pipeline, so I don't want to say too much, but what's happening is...
Please say too much, Paul.
No, because I'm the one with the loose lips in our business. So there's so much interest, right? And we've traditionally had a franchise which cost about 15 grand to join. Well, that kind of rules out many people because they don't want or haven't got that amount of money to spend.
Yeah.
So we've been tailoring and adapting and creating new opportunities for people to be in travel. My background is direct sales, the home business industry. I've done this for kind of 20 years. And what I know is times of adversity change people's mindset. You know, if you asked 2 years ago if people wanted a little side hustle, make an extra few hundred quid a month, they say, no, can't be bothered. You know, that they're just lazy. Things are good. I'm not bothered. Now, to snap your arm off. You know, because now there's a changed mindset. So we're doing many things, and we're kind of opening almost like new doors, new divisions that will fit a lot of people. So you can
come in at the full 15 grand full franchisee, but you're also creating opportunities that people could do it on a slightly scaled down version.
Correct, more like an entry level version.
But they would still be people who've got no travel experience, but they just want a bit of a sideline, or
a bit of both. You know, we're getting a lot of people who've been, you know, BDM. The good bit about Not Just Travel is, you know, thankfully a lot of the trade and the BDMs and people like working with us, and so as they've been having the unfortunate news, you know, then they're on the phone straight away. So just a varied mixture of all, really.
Okay, all right. So watch this space. You were saying earlier, you were saying there's more to come, but what else did you tell your members today then in terms of sort of the news that's coming down the line?
Well, what we're doing, Lucy, is we are building for the future. So, you know, when we appointed Cherie, for example, we offered her the role in February, and then, you know, COVID hit. Well, most people would have said, oh, I'm sorry, love, you know, the world's changed, you know, we retract the offer. But no, like I said, we see this as an opportunity to grow and diversify and what have you. So Cherie is the first of many. So there's going to be a lot of people joining us in different capacities, a lot of growth, and therefore there needs to be a lot of structure to kind of underpin that. So we're very much in a recruiting.
So you're not just recruiting actual franchisees or these more experienced members, but you're also recruiting at head office level to service all these people. Okay. Yeah. So how many roles do you think you'll be looking for sort of to actually run the company?
Well, we've done 5 interviews with 5 different people this week. And I mean in fairly decent positions, not just kind of like low level, you know, roles, but, you know, head of and managerial roles and what have you, and more to come.
Okay, you've been a bit of a tease today, Paul. You're giving me snippets, and I want full detail, of course.
Because I want a second interview to follow this, and then
you can have one. You can have one. Now, one of the things I wanted to ask you about. I mean, you touched on it right at the start, Paul. You're saying it's been a really difficult time, and some people have been frightened to even sell. And I know you and Steve have experience of going through good times and also bad times, and I know you know, you kind of lost everything, didn't you, in the 2009 recession. So has that, you know, enabled you to be able to talk with real empathy and experience when you're sort of talking to these entrepreneurs and business owners and saying, look, we will get through this?
Yeah, I thought you were talking because we were both married then, but I
Yeah.
so, no, that's a t-shirt that we both have, unfortunately, and scars that we have, but also it's inspirational. You know, we started not just travel, we didn't have 2 pence between us, and look what we've created now, and we're giving that same message to our people, really. You know, it's not all about the here and now. What we're trying to do is focus their mind on how can they make money now. You know, really focus on the you know, October half term, the last minute holidays where you can get paid, and just keep those wolves from the door. But don't lose sight of the fact that although you're not earning much money right now, actually, sorry, you're not getting paid money right now, you can earn a fortune right now. You know, there's a lot of money still to be earned. You know, we've got franchisees done $500,000+ during COVID. So that money's to come.
And this is all for stuff really for 2021 bookings. But so it's all about encouraging them to keep going and just eking enough out to get through the winter, but hopefully they'll then reap the rewards next year.
Yeah, you know, it's very, from the outset in March, I remember Steve and I, we were doing one of these kind of daily things, and we said, look, I think people were expecting COVID to last a week or 2 weeks. You know, no one knew, you know, no one had a clue, but we said September. You know, we said, there's, you know, just have in your mind September. You know, you've got to kind of, this doesn't look like it's going to go away. So here we are now, September. Yes, I believe we've broken the back of the wave, but we still need to ride the wave out, you know, and all these quarantines and everything. So in many ways, we're saying write off kind of summer. But when you say write off summer, everyone downs tools. So we've got to be clear with that message. It's kind of understand not much is going to get paid and come through now. There's still sticky parts to go through, but don't down tools. Think I could still make so much money during this period. And there's one thing knowing there's a rebound coming, but there's another thing being ready. And that's, you know, mentally ready, prepared, having done all your kind of preparation and groundwork and calls, you know, pre kind of the nice times coming back. So we're just literally keeping people focused on the basics and
has everybody sort of responded well? I mean, I don't need individual names, but I mean, most companies are finding that not everyone will get through this. I mean, are you going to lose some that just, you know, haven't been prepared or have down tools? Do you think you will have some? I know you're still growing, and that's fantastic, but will you lose some people in this process?
Yes, and the nature of business, Lucy, there's attrition in every business, I'm sure, and I relate it a little bit to the coronavirus. Remember when they were saying about stats at the beginning, how many people have died, but then you could say, well, some of those people would have died anyway. You know, so we've lost some people over the last 3 or 4 months, but I think they would have come to the end of their business anyway. You know,
okay,
factors come and what have you. So we haven't lost anybody where we wouldn't have wanted to lose them, let's say. But again, the message right now for them is, as we enter like month 6, month 7, wherever this is trying to just reassure them, say, look, you're over the worst of it. You know, surely it can't get any worse than it's been. 4 or 5 months ago, it was all about fear, wasn't it? Because we didn't even know what a refund credit note meant. Well,
yeah.
Now at least they're getting a bit more battle weary, and they understand everything, and they can maybe ride out some problems before they even happen. So it is getting easier, you know.
Yeah.
Still not nice. But
well, you mentioned the quarantines there, Paul. I mean, that's and then you can see why people are anxious about selling holidays, because they don't really know which destinations they are 100% safe to sell to. So I guess that is the challenge. I mean, what are they? You know, is that something that is causing a problem for your guys?
Very much so, and I feel so sorry for them. You know, the people. I mean, I feel sorry for everybody in travel right now, but the people on the front line, they're obviously getting it in the ear from the customers. They're full of self-doubt. They're full of all these things. Then they're having to deal with the rubbish. All our HQ are getting the earache from the franchisees about when's my refund, and it's not nice. All we can do is is hope, you know, but the signs are there, you know. Our sales are good, you know. Our mid to long term sales are
well, I was literally wanted to finish on something really positive. So talk to me about then, yeah, what is selling, and are you kind of steering people to sell certain types of holiday or certain destinations? You know, and what sort of seasons are we looking at? Are you getting much for winter, or is it really now sort of Easter onwards?
Yeah, well, fair bits. I mean, I don't deal with the travel side, but again, like I say, we're focusing people on what can you do to make money now, you know. So the October half term, again, some of that may get cancelled, but it may not. So, you know,
yeah,
have a look. Lapland, you know, still wherever, you know, for winter. Next year, you know, sales are strong across the board, really, you know. So you know, it's good, you know. We're hearing lots of success stories.
So there's lots of pent up demand. Is that what they're finding? Because I guess if people haven't been able to go away this year, you're saying it's good for next.
Well, I'm in charge, as you know, of kind of the recruiting side, you know,
yes,
in our business, and it's quite easy right now because I'm asking them the question instead of me being a salesman and telling them. I'm kind of saying, Lucy, it's month 7 now, and 65 million Brits have been locked up for 7 months. What do you think's going to happen? You know, there's going to be a frenzy. Surely there's going to be a, wow, let me out of here, you know, let me go. And now the weather's going to turn, then even more so. Common sense surely tells us that. So just be ready, be prepared. You know, let's not just talk about it and hope, you know, and then think, oh, what happened? You know, it's gone. Make sure you're ready to take advantage. That's the key kind of message that we're giving people.
Oh, well, I'm sure they've really, you know, enjoyed the conference, even though you normally have these amazing conferences, don't you, like in person with celebrities and all sorts of things. But you know, we're all having to do things virtually, and I'm sure your conference today has gone down really well. And well, it looks like I have to interview again, aren't I? So you can tell me all these actual stories.
I'll tease you a little bit more next time.
All right, lovely. Well, it's great to speak to you, and we wish you all the best of luck, and all your franchisees and all your guys there.
All right, thank you, Lucy.